Alex, I spent 40 minutes yesterday looking for my small sliding square. 40 minutes. I could have carved a spoon, drank a coffee, and contemplated my life choices in that time. Instead, I was digging through a drawer that looked like a junk heap in a hurricane.
Only 40? Last week, I watched you look for your safety glasses while they were literally resting on top of your head. I didn't say anything because, honestly, the suspense was top tier entertainment.
That's low, even for you. But it's the point, isn't it? We talk about workflow like it's this grand architectural philosophy, but usually it just means not having to excavate your workspace like an archaeologist every time you need a Phillips head.
It's the where is the thing tax. And today, we're talking about how to stop paying it. We're diving into tool storage that actually makes sense, not just the Pinterest pretty stuff, but the systems that keep you from losing your mind mid project.
Exactly. Whether you're turning a bowl, fixing a brake line, or just trying to hang a shelf without the wall falling down, the way you house your gear dictates the rhythm of your day. If the rhythm is stop, search, swear, repeat, you're doing it wrong.
So, let's start with the big debate open versus closed. You're a put it all on the wall kind of guy, right? Jim Puterbaugh over at Fine Woodworking swears by it. Everything visible, no secrets.
Jim's a smart man. There's a certain honesty to a wall of tools. It's like having your team lined up for a pep talk. I can see the edge of every chisel, the throat of every plane. When I'm in the middle of a glue up and things are getting tacky, I don't have time to be a detective. I need to reach out, grab the scraper, and get back to work.
But isn't the honesty just a polite word for dust magnet? Everything in my shop gets covered in this fine layer of gray fuzz within 2 hours. If it's on the wall, it's getting dusty. If it's in a drawer, it's clean.
Well, yeah, if you're a surgeon, maybe you want drawers. But for most of us, dust is just the glitter of our craft. The real magic of open storage isn't just seeing the tools, it's the psychology of it. If there's a specific peg for my mallet and it's empty, it nags at me. It's like a missing tooth in a smile. It forces you to be orderly because the clutter has nowhere to hide.
Okay, I'll give you that. But what about the automotive side? We were looking at those PIP mobile systems earlier. They talk about zoning by task. In a garage, you aren't just standing at one bench. You're moving from the engine bay to the lift.
That's where the mobility factor kicks in. A woodworker moves around a 6-foot bench. A mechanic moves around a 2-ton truck. If you're doing brakes, you don't want to walk across the shop 40 times for different sockets. You want a cart that follows you like a loyal dog.
That's the competitive advantage, right? Pip mentions that in a professional shop, searching drawers literally eats billable time. If you're a pro, you're losing money. If you're a hobbyist, you're losing the fun.
And that's a tragedy. Hobby time is sacred. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of how you actually lay this out. You mentioned 5S earlier, that industrial philosophy. Sort set in order, shine, standardize, sustain. It sounds like corporate speak, but the sort part is what most people skip.
You mean I don't actually need 3 identical, rusted flathead screwdrivers I found in a bucket at a yard sale?
Blasphemy. But yes, most shops are drowning in duplicates. You have 4 different sets of hex keys, and 3 of them are missing the 5 millimeters. You have to be ruthless. If you haven't touched it since the last lunar eclipse, it goes in a maybe box. If the maybe box is still full in 6 months, it goes to the thrift store.
Once you've purged the junk, we get to my favorite part, the shadow board. It's basically adult coloring books, but for tools.
Shadow boards are the ultimate truth tellers. You can use foam inserts in drawers, which I love because it keeps the tools from rattling around like marbles in a tin can, or you can go full old school and paint silhouettes on the pegboard.
I saw a tip about using 2 colors of foam. You have a bright bottom layer, like neon orange, and a dark top layer. You cut the tool shape out of the dark layer, and when the tool is gone, it's like a bright orange alarm going off. Hey, the wrench is missing.
It's brilliant. It's FOD prevention, foreign object debris. In aerospace, if a tool is missing, the plane doesn't fly. In my shop, if a chisel is missing, I probably left it under a pile of shavings and I'm about to lean on it. Neither scenario ends well.
I've seen your leaning face. It's not pretty. But let's talk about the vertical space. You always say, if you can't go out, go up.
That's the secret to a small shop. Most people treat their walls like a place to hang calendars. I treat them like high-density real estate. Pip mentions those mobile carriage systems, shelving that slides on tracks. It's like a library for heavy stuff. For a home shop, that might be overkill, but the principle holds: use the height.
What about the zone by task thing? Give me an example of how you do that at your bench.
Okay, so right above my vise, I have my striking and driving zone, hammers, mallets, screwdrivers. I don't have to turn my torso. To the right, I have my marking and measuring, squares, marking knives, calipers. If I'm marking a dovetail, my hand knows exactly where to go without my eyes leaving the wood. It's about muscle memory. If you change your layout every 3 weeks, you never develop that blind reach.
So you're saying consistency is actually more important than the perfect system?
100%. A mediocre system you know by heart beats a perfect system that you have to think about.
Let's pivot to the damage aspect. We talked about workflow, but storage is also about protecting the investment. Quality tools aren't cheap.
I once had a beautiful hand-forged Japanese chisel. Cost more than my first car. Well, almost. I left it on the edge of a bench. A vibration from the table saw sent it diving nose first into the concrete.
Oh no, please tell me you didn't cry.
I didn't cry, but I did make a sound that only dogs could hear. That's why foam organizers or dedicated wooden racks aren't just about being neat. They're about insurance. When a tool has a home, it's safe. When it's just floating around the bench, it's a casualty waiting to happen.
And safety. We can't skip that. A cluttered floor is a trip hazard. A cluttered bench is how you accidentally touch a spinning blade because you were reaching over a pile of scraps for a pencil.
Right. Organization is the first step of shop safety. If you know where everything is, you aren't rushing. And rushing is when the emergency room visits happen.
Speaking of pencils, I noticed you have about 50 of them in a jar. Is that part of your zone by task, or is that just a hoarding problem?
That is a strategic reserve. Pencils have a way of phased shifting into another dimension the moment you put them down.
All right, Tiger, give us the takeaway. If someone is standing in a messy garage right now, looking at a mountain of mismatched sockets and sawdust-covered planes, where do they start?
Start small. Don't try to organize the whole shop in a weekend. You'll just end up with a bigger mess and a headache. Pick 1 square yard of bench or 1 drawer, sort it, clean it, give the tools a permanent place.
And the labeling, is that actually necessary or just for people who like to play with label makers?
It's for your future self. In 3 months, when you're tired and trying to finish a project at 10 p.m., that label that says metric deep sockets is going to be the best gift you ever gave yourself.
I guess the real workflow isn't about the tools themselves, but about clearing the path so you can actually do the work you love.
Spot on. The shop shouldn't be a puzzle you have to solve every morning. It should be the wind at your back. Build the systems that serve your hands, not just your eyes.
Beautifully said. Now go find your safety glasses. I'm pretty sure they're on the drill press this time.
I'll check, but if they're not there, I'm blaming the shop goblins.